Hey, welcome to episode number 32 of the Go To Physio podcast. In today's episode, I cover how I'm using my marketing and sales skills that I've learned over the last 5 years to help my clinic survive over the next 30 days. I hope you enjoy the show. Hey, welcome to episode number 32 of the Go To Physio podcast. My name is Dave O'Sullivan, and once again, thank you for joining me on another episode. Now, today's episode, again, we're kind of gone off topic from going through the mentorship content over the last few episodes, but again, I thought it was important today to help as many therapists as I can. I've been inundated with messages from therapists outside my mentorship community asking for advice on Facebook ads, Google ads, marketing, what they should be doing. So I thought this is a good opportunity to answer as many of those questions as possible. Now, I'm sitting in my own clinic. Everybody's obviously gone home and we're on lockdown. I've just been working here as I've just moved house, so I don't have internet access yet. Pretty much in isolation, and I've got my laptop out, and I'm putting together a training on Friday, which will be Friday I think it's the 3rd of April, depending on when you're listening this, for my Mentorship Plus community. So we usually do a weekly Q&A, and I'm using this week's Q&A to show them how I'm using my marketing skills and sales skills to essentially save my clinic over the next 30 days. Now, that might sound dramatic, but ultimately that's the truth, because if we don't take action now, then, especially with the amount of staff I have, we've got 4 therapists in addition to myself. We've got 5 admin, and then we've got some other staff that come in and take classes. So quite a big wage bill, quite a lot of pressure on cash flow and stuff like that. So, I have 2 options. I can sit there and watch the news and catastrophize and do all the things that we tell patients not to do, or I can, take control of the things that I can take control of and use the skill sets. Now, I usually don't talk about this, if I'm being honest. I don't particularly teach marketing skills, sales skills to therapists, because first and foremost, my passion is physio. It's helping people out of pain. It's helping people that are deemed beyond repair, especially, and kind of putting the pieces of the puzzle together in their injury history, figuring out, what we need to do to show the nervous system that it's safe for this person to move with thoughtless, fearless movement. But obviously, in growing the mentorship, and when I made the decision to start that business, I've obviously got an online business as well, the GoToPhysio.com, or the Pro Sport Academy is the business name, and I had to learn marketing skills. I had to learn sales skills to help people understand what I was selling, if you want to call it that, and how to help them make a good decision. And I think there's this sales word it's definitely got a negative connotation to it, and marketing and sales, it happens every single day of the week, whether you like it or not. You sell your treatment services to your patient. It's just, as I said, that word, we've got a lot of negativity surrounding it. But getting back to the point, I've obviously been able to grow the online business as well. We've had 350 therapists all over the world. I still have to pinch myself sometimes when I kind of realize actually, what we've achieved, and in the space of 5 years. And I genuinely thought I'd be doing this for a couple of years while I was transitioning out of pro sport, and got my practice busy. And here we are 5 years later, and it's continuing to grow. And I've invested, I'll be honest, I've invested thousands and thousands of pounds. And I've reinvested the vast majority of the money in the mentorship in upskilling myself and my team, in coaches and various business coaches and stuff like that as well. So everything I'm going to talk about today, it's stuff that we're doing. It's stuff that I've paid a lot of money to learn. And the interesting thing is, the better I've got at marketing, and the better I've got at sales, if you want to call it that silly word, the actual better the results clinically I've got. Because begin to understand on a deeper level what people are thinking, what people need to hear to truly reassure them, and various other bits. So it's very, very interesting. And I genuinely believe that the better you get at marketing, the better therapist you'll become. And again, look, I don't mean that in a sleazy way. I just think it's, marketing and sales, it's all human behavior and psychology. So it's really interesting on that front. But um, what we've done over the years, as I said, is really coming to fruition now. And I can use these skills. And what I want to share in today's episode is just help you not to waste money, because I'll be honest, I wasted a lot of money on Google Ads when I was first starting out with the clinic. And it's this isn't a time where you have money to waste. You need to have every pound or euro or dollar that you invest, it needs to bring back more than that $1 or pound back. Okay, so you need to get a return on your investment, and you need to be smart, especially at these times. Now, what I'm going to be teaching in this webinar on Friday. Now, what I've done, because I've been inundated with questions, is I'm actually making 50 spaces available now. So it depends what time you listen to this, but there may be a space available. If you go to www.thegotophysiocom/my clinic, okay, MYCLINIC, my clinic, okay. I'm making 50 spaces available for therapists who listen to my podcast, who bought my book, who've attended my Return to Play course. Anyone who's a past customer, if you want to call it that, they've been given priority access to this. And now I'm mentioning it on the podcast. If there is spaces left, then because you listen to the podcast, you're more than welcome to take one of those spaces. So if you go to thegotophysiocom/my clinic, you'll be able to register your seat there if there's spaces available. I've only got 50 because I've got 350 therapists in the mentorship, which they'll be kept a spot, and I've got 50 seats on my webinar software left over. Okay. So what I'm going to be doing in this webinar is I'm going to be talking about the key mistake really that a lot of people make. And for me, with my marketing plan over the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, is it needs to be broken down. Okay, and if I put it into physio terms, it needs to be broken down into an acute plan, a medium plan, a chronic plan. Okay. So the acute plan, I need to have a plan in place where I can bring cash flow in quickly. Okay. Now, one of the biggest mistakes I see people when they go around, I'm going to market, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, is they spend hours and hours and hours wasting time on Facebook ads, on Google, and websites, and all this stuff. And I mean hours and hours. And the reason I know that is because that was me. Okay, when I first started out, and what I didn't quickly realize, because it went on for about a year or two where I was just wasting ridiculous amounts of time. I mean, I built a mentorship up where I was literally videoing the content, pressing play on the camera, doing the exercises, uploading them, editing them, building websites, and editing content, building the mentorship. I've literally built that mentorship from the ground up myself. I've done everything at the start, okay, all while still trying to work in professional sport and stuff like that. So I laugh when I look at it now. Now I'm very fortunate to have a team with me. So I've got a web developer, a videographer, and a marketing girl as well, Laura, and then Paul, who's the operations, and I'm very lucky to have Shane, who's the head physio for the clinic, and he also coaches on the mentorship. So now, as the clinic's grown, all I focus on again now is teaching. But back to my point, I've wasted a lot of time with all this stuff, and I'm lucky now. It's put me in good stead to realize that if I want acute cash flow, it's not the website, it's not the Facebook ads that are going to bring that in. Okay, what I'm going to be teaching on the webinar is, if you want acute cash flow, the lowest hanging fruit, your past and your current patients. Okay, so again, we sent out an email which I'll be talking through exactly what it is. It was a 5-sentence email, and we sent it to our past patients, and we had, I think it was 23 responses, and out of that we got about 9 people who we were able to re-engage. That's 9 people out of the 25 that responded. out of the 20% of our past patients who actually probably opened the email, who identify themselves as having current issues but haven't been in contact yet. Okay, so we're able to obviously get some of these people onto online telehealth, and obviously from there. So that was just literally one email that we sent. Now, low hanging fruit, again, I'll be sharing that email on that webinar.
Hey, I hope you're enjoying today's show. For more clinical content and tips to help you implement this content in the real world, please visit thegotofysio.com for more information, including my 6-step patient adherence checklist, which you can download for free. And also there's more blog content that helps you implement this stuff in the real world. You'll also find links to my YouTube show, The Go-To Physio Show, as well as lots of more information to help you become the go-to therapist, helping real patients get real results in the real world.
And again, you can do this. All of these principles I'm talking about today, these hold true for when you open your clinic again. Okay, so that's something I would go after first in the webinar. I'm going to be teaching this stuff first, and I'm going to be covering Facebook ads and Google and stuff like that. But you need to do the basics extraordinary, just like I teach on the mentorship, and go after that first. Pick up the phone. Even better than an email is a phone call. Okay, so again, you need to be, and I've spoke about this last week, and I spoke about it the week before. You need to be ringing your current patients who haven't transitioned over to online. Okay, you need to pass the give a shit test that you actually still care about them every single week. Pick up the phone, check in on them. Okay, and again, there's something happening at the moment. There's that mind shift is starting to happen. We've just had our full weekend in. Okay, full cabin fever. I've had my first corona virus argument with my wife. Okay, and it was not pretty at the weekend. Okay, so it's like now I'm wishing that Friday never comes, because I can stay up in the clinic and just do loads of work, whereas I'm not stuck in the house for the weekend with 2 kids. I'm only joking. I love my kids and wife, but yeah, we had a massive argument. Okay, and again, just from being under each other's feet and the kids kicking off and all that energy built up and stuff like that. So people are starting to realize that obviously this is here for a little bit longer now. I think everyone thought, myself included, that we're going to be in lockdown for 2 weeks and that's it. Whereas this is looking like it's going to be a lot longer than that. So people are coming into the reality of the situation now. So you ringing every week is going to, you're going to be there essentially when that person's ready to come on for a telehealth session. I guarantee there will be some, not all will, but there will be some that will transition who've said no already. No, thank you. And you just keep checking in on them. And again, you do that authentically, you do it ethically. You don't push them or try sell them or anything like that, and it'll just happen. They'll go, actually, you know what? Let's do a session. And then they'll be believers, and you'll get the results, and the rest is history. Okay, so that's something that I'm going to be teaching, exactly what we say, what we're doing with all these, and then obviously past patients as well, picking up the phone. Now, you're not going to do that with every past patient, but there's a certain section of patients that you do that for, which I'll be sharing on that webinar as well. Okay, then the medium term plans. Okay, now I'm going to go back to that. So the acute, okay, is there's this thing in marketing, and again, I've been looking for scientific proof of it. The physio and me looking for the evidence base, because I know physios are going to ask me for the evidence. But there's a well-known thing, and I presume there's scientific evidence or statistics or something like that, where and to be fair, I've seen it hold true. Which again, I know I shouldn't accept it for what it is, but anyways, moving on. That only 3% of people are ready to buy now. Okay, and to be fair, it fits with kind of bounce rates that we've seen in our website. We've actually seen a lot higher bounce rates where, only 3% of people are ready to buy now. Yet, when people come on your website, there's at least a 47% bounce rate. So that's where they click on your website and then they leave straight away. Okay, so that they don't actually scroll or take any action or click any links. So there's 3% ready to buy now. Then there's about, I think, another 7% who are open to buying now. And then it gets further and further. So again, I'm going to talk through the triangle on the webinar. And the biggest mistake people do is they set their websites up essentially for people for the 3%. So again, there's 97% of people who land on your website who aren't ready to buy now, and then you're screaming at them, book an appointment, book an appointment, book an appointment, when actually 97% of them people aren't ready. Now, the 3% that are ready, obviously, that's where you need to be here. But mainly the 3% there, that's going to be people on Google. Okay, so when someone's on Facebook, okay, they go on Facebook. They're not going on Facebook to look for a physio appointment. Okay, so again, what you do on Facebook needs to be very different to what you do on Google. Okay, so again, Google's usually where the 3% are. If someone Googles physio clinics, Huddersfield, physio clinics, Dublin, physio clinics, Australia, Sydney, wherever you are in the world, that's someone who's probably in that 3%. They're looking to take action. They're looking to buy now. Okay, so again, when they click on your Google ad, needs to show up where they land on. Okay, the message needs to be appropriate. So that's what I'm going to be sharing on that webinar with that 3%. Now we get on to the medium term people who are open to buying, but they're not quite ready to buy now. So that's where then you might start to use Facebook, and you might do certain things on Facebook. So again, one of the things we have about 200 people who have kind of gone through, shown interest that they might have back pain and who aren't ready to buy now. And we respect that. And definitely, our marketing, we made some mistakes with stuff like that being too pushy before. But we're nurturing them now. And we just set up another challenge on Facebook just to give people some value, to help them to be, and again, all of this it's genuine, good advice. It's ethical advice. We're delivering a lot of value to them. So in about 6 to 12 weeks, those people are going to come out the other side of that, and they're going to hopefully then be ready to make a decision to get help. Okay, so again, when we're open again, then we've got a steady stream of people who are ready to buy. So again, rather than just trying to wait till the doors open and build up the clinic again from scratch, it's right. Well, we've got these people now who are just about ready to buy, and if we do ring them, they're going to be a lot more open to having a chat to us. Okay, that's your medium term plan. Again, there's going to be a whole host of things that you're going to do there, which I'm going to cover, and then you'll have your long term plan. And your long term plan then is just getting the long term structure of your business right. So what I'm spending a lot of time doing at the moment is we've got voluntary training for some of my staff that are furloughed, and we're looking at the customer journey. We're looking at ways that we can take down any barriers or objections. I just had a really good hour CPD session with my physios about 2 hours ago, and again, one of the things we're just looking at our full kind of pathway as someone comes in for their initial assessment. What are the objections? What are the things that we feel that we don't have enough time to explain really well? Is there any ways we can overcome these objections? And when I say objections, I mean objections to getting that person the result that they want. Okay, is there anything that we can do better? So again, I'm using this long-term plan as well. I'm splitting my time between the acute stuff, the medium, and the long-term stuff that's going to ultimately build me a better business. Okay, and I'm going to talk a lot about that on the webinar as well. And that's really what I would encourage you to do in the next few weeks, is use this time to get your marketing right. Okay, again, a lot of therapists, as you go out private practice, they'll always say, I don't have time to do my marketing, or I don't have time for my website, I don't have time for this. Well, guess what? You have time now. You'll never get this time back again. Even if you have 4 patients today, but you've got 3 hours free, you have 3 hours there today that you have an option. You have a decision to make. Are you going to use this time, or are you going to piss it away watching the news, scare yourself shitless, and put yourself in negative emotions, bad mood, and catastrophizing? Okay, or you can protect yourself. You can turn the news off. You can put Classic FM on, like I am, and I'm actually starting to kind of like it now, weirdly. And you can keep your mindset focused, and you can use this as an opportunity. And I swear to God, and I put it out there into the world, when I come through this, my business will be stronger than it ever was before. Now, I mean, in terms of the foundations, the structure that it's built on, the staff training, the cash flow, I am not kidding myself. I'm expecting to make loss. I might have to make some difficult decisions. That's absolutely fine. I'll do what I need to do. That's business. I'm the owner. I take the good times when I take, and I have to wear the bad times. Okay. But the structure, the foundation, how my business is run, that I am 100% And already, okay, last week I put on Facebook on our page, I got more work done in the last week for my clinic than I did in the last 6 months. And I mean that generally. That's not just saying it for the sake of it, okay? But I'm absolutely um, relentless with this, that this business will be better for this. Okay, there's nothing we can do about this, there's nothing anyone can do about this, but there is something that I can do to make sure that I come out of this in a positive light. Okay, and that's really what I'm going to be doing on the webinar. So if you want access to the webinar, head over to www.thegotophysios.com/my clinic. Okay, if there is spaces there, let us pick up your seat while you still can. If it is sold out or anything like that, and look, you've listened to the podcasts and you're familiar with my stuff, then as I said, reach out, send us a message, and I will see if we did end up recording the webinar then as well. Then I'll see what we can do for you. Obviously, I don't want to make any promises, but I'll do my best. Okay. So hopefully that was helpful. Have an acute plan, have a medium plan, have a long-term plan, okay, for your business, and then just start chipping away at those. Obviously, prioritize the acute plan. You don't start working on your customer journey and your website and all this stuff first, and then you do your acute stuff last. You do your acute stuff first, okay? So again, anywhere, it's like an emergency room, so to speak, okay? You take care of the big stuff first. If you're leaking money, or if you've got a massive wound that's gushing blood, you take care of that first, okay? Before you worry about isolating your glutes or sucking your belly button in or anything like that, okay? I'm joking with the belly button comment, but you take care of the big stuff first, okay? So the big stuff for all of us at the moment is where we are leaking cash, okay? How we stop that bleeding, okay, is the retention. I've said this already. The retention of current patients and the retention of past patients is the oxygen to our businesses right now. Okay, so that's the acute stuff you go after first. The medium-term plan, so planning for new patients to come in 6 to 8 weeks, or whenever you're going to reopen. That's the sexy stuff in inverted commas that a lot of people spend way too long on, but they don't have the acute stuff taken care of. Okay. So make sure you prioritize in terms of what are the activities that's going to give you the most revenue, the most cash flow right now. Spend most of your time on that stuff. And then when you've plugged those holes, then move on to the medium, and then move on to the long-term plans. Okay, so hopefully you found that useful today. As I said, to be honest, I made a promise to myself, but I've also said this out loud a few times, that I would never teach marketing skills to therapists outside my mentorship community. And I'm just tipping the iceberg today, but I think this is a situation where people are genuinely messaging me, asking me for help, and I think this is one time where I will make an exception. I don't want to be a business coach to the hundreds at the forefront. My bread and butter is my clinical skills. It's my kind of USP, if you want, that is the structured system that I have, that we've been able to successfully bring our pro sport approach into the private practice, and that's had a massive implications for business growth as well. That's my bread and butter. I will teach a pocket full of therapist business skills and marketing skills that I've learned over the years. But they have to come through the mentorship, really, because if you want to build a profitable business that first and foremost does what it says on the tin, which is help people get out of pain and get long-lasting results, then obviously I need to know that you have the clinical skills to back that up. Okay, so that's why I'm very, very skeptical to work with anyone who hasn't done the mentorship, because again, one of the biggest ways to grow your business is to increase the number of times people buy from you ethically. Okay, so again, people are going to come back to you again in the future if you are good at what you do and you've got a good word of mouth reputation. You can get results. Okay, another way to grow your business is to make sure patients don't drop off and they complete the full treatment plan to get results. Okay, so again, if you can't do all that stuff, there's no point in me teaching you business skills, because again, it goes back to that emergency room. You're just leaking money left, right, and center. So once people have the mentorship content and they have the confidence and the clarity to get a step-by-step system, then that's when I'm happy to teach people the skills that I've been lucky to learn as well. Okay, but as I said, I think in this situation, I think it's very important that therapists can survive and that they can take action. So hopefully this helps today. As I said, if you take anything from this, don't take the Google ads, don't take the Facebook ads. Take the bit about sending your past patient emails, pick up the phone, check in with your patients. That's the bit that's it's going to give you the most return on your investment. Okay, so thanks for joining me today, and depending on the situation next week, hopefully we'll get back to mentorship content, and we'll just backdate. We're actually a week behind the mentorship content anyway, because we're holding these emergency webinars. So we're on coaching call number 9 this week, which we're kind of covering the high-end rehab for the lower limb, even though mentorship therapists have access to module 10 this week as well. So that's it from me. Friday morning, I've got a 6 a.m. coaching call with the mentorship group, which will be covering the kind of the higher limb or upper limb, higher level progressions. And then at 10 a.m., I will be doing the webinar for them on marketing. And as I said, your invite is there. If you're watching this or you're listening to this and you want to know more, you want to know more details about that, kind of my acute, medium, and chronic plans, then head over to www.thegotophysio.com/my-clinic. And if there is spaces there, you are more than welcome to join us, where I'll go through this stuff in a lot more detail. Okay, hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you're safe. Hope you're healthy. Hope you're protecting your mind. And as I said, look, if you need any advice, any help, I'm not saying I've got all the answers, but obviously feel free to reach out in this scary time. But I know that we will get through this if we stay positive. If you protect your mindset, make the decision to come out of this a better clinician. Make the decision to come out of this as a better business owner, and as a stronger business long term. Okay, again, I've no doubt the cash flow is going to be taking a massive hit if you're anything like me, but the business itself, the foundations of the business are built on, the structures, all of that I'm strengthening up, as I said, for when we reopen. Okay, so that's it from me this week. Have a great week, and I'll see you next week.
Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's show. For more information, please visit www.thegotophysio.com, where you can download my 6-step patient adherence checklist absolutely free, as well as read the accompanying blog that goes with today's episode. We've got lots of cheat sheets and clinical content to help you implement to get real world results with real patients, that ultimately helps you become the go-to therapist and allows you to build a profitable, busy private practice, or become that go-to therapist in professional sport. I'll speak to you soon on the next episode.